everyone. Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday Night Principal Chiropractic broadcast, sponsored by DE and brought to you by band of brothers around the world. Tonight we got a special guy. If you haven't been coming to DE for a long time or you're new to DE, you may hear stories that may blow your mind about chiropractic and how awesome chiropractic is. Our speaker is a guy named Beloyianis, and Leo is from Long Beach, New York, a Long Island guy, been in practice for over 37 years, been coming to DE for about 31 years, and I love this guy, man. He's just a smooth guy. I'll let him tell the story, but before we bring Leo in, I want to make sure we make the announcements that the cutoff day for the hotel is September 20th. So you could wait until September 20th to make sure you got the hotel room. But again, the Braves are kicking ass and they're doing really well. So everybody's going to be trying to book those nights for the playoffs. So get your hotel room today, not tomorrow. TNT, as Dr. Sid used to say. And while you're doing that, get registered for the next DE is October 11th to the 14th. And so once you get done listening to Leo, go online, get yourself booked up, get yourself ready, because it will be awesome. It will be amazing. So, with no further ado, let's hear it from my man Leo. Take over, buddy.
Thank you very much, Andy. That's a nice introduction. Hey, listen, it's been a really, really great DE. The last one that you guys had, and the one before was awesome too. And it's just awesome to get onto the DE program, like $100 and $109 a month. You can listen to all the programs. It's fantastic. You know, I listen to it when I'm riding my bicycle or if I'm cutting the lawn. It's just a great way to keep your head clean and get, all the things, that you need to hear, which is great. He mentioned the story about the fact that DE and chiropractic saved my life. Like 11 years ago, there was a little situation where my heart stopped. And I had a lot of prayers from the people in DE and a lot of adjustments from a lot of the DE doctors that came in. And I'm here to talk to you tonight, and I want to thank everybody. I also want to thank, Brian and Steve and Dr. D.B. Umber and Drew for saving DE, because I think, most people don't realize all the work it takes to do something like this, but really to bring this program to all the chiropractors in the world and bring it to us. I've been very, very lucky to just be a passive member of this, group, to come to the DEs when I can, but there's a lot of work to get the speakers together and to bring that love, give and serve message out to all of us that we need to hear. And honestly, they get the best of the best to come up and talk, and I'm very happy to be able to receive those messages when we can. I have to say, through the years, DE hasn't really changed. It's really exactly the same as it was before. Of course, a lot of people who are no longer with us, they're, they're with us, but they're not physically with us. But in the spirit of what they did and what they said, we have different people saying the same message, but saying it with the same amount of love and the same amount of conviction. And it brings us to a certain level that we can enjoy as chiropractors. So this way we can give our patients the best of what we got. I know some of the people that were in the last program, like for instance, they had D.D. Umber got up and said some things, and Walter Sanchez, which I love when he speaks. And now he's like talking, instead of speaking for like about 15 or 10 minutes, he speaks for like 35 minutes, which is a miracle. It's unbelievable, So I just love to hear what he has to say, because he brings a lot of love and a lot of dedication to his love for chiropractic and for his service to the patients. My practice has really been blessed because of all the things that DE has taught me, and all the patients that come to me. I got patients coming from Massapequa. I got a lot of people come from Massapequa. There's a chiropractor, Dr. O'Halloran. He doesn't take care of anybody over 15 years old anymore, so I get a lot of those patients. And from Babylon, I got a lot of patients coming from Dr. John Balsamo. I don't know. I don't think he takes care of Democrats anymore, but a lot of those people come to see me. And also from Huntington, there's a lot of people that come, and they're looking for Andy, but he's in Virginia. And also from Malvern, I do get a lot of patients. And for some reason, they keep like going to the Michelin place. They, somebody who looks like a Michelin man. Oh no, it's actually Penny with the beekeeper suit. But anyway, these are my brothers and sisters that on Long Island that we've been coming to DE for a long time. And as a group, we all kind of got together back in like the 90s, maybe like, gosh, it was like 91 or 92 or something like that, that they all convinced me to come to DE. And actually, my very, very first DE, I went on my own. I think it was 1987, where of all the people in the whole program, I get to get on the elevator, which is the greatest thing with, what's his name? Oh, gosh, I'm trying to think of it. But it was amazing because he's on the elevator telling me about how DE and Dr. Sid said to him, you must sell your car. You must sell your car, otherwise you're not going to be, a successful chiropractor. Joe Accurso. And in like the 2 minutes or 3 minutes, he told me that story. And I went down into the room, not really understanding Southern talk, and Dr. Sid got up and talked, and I didn't really get it as much. But Gary Walsman got up and spoke, and he gave a message that was really, really to the heart. And he talked about, turn the crank, testify, and there was a couple of other people, I think Piskursky, he spoke, and he was awesome. But I think that at that time in 1987, I really wasn't open for the message. I thought, that I knew something about chiropractic, but I knew so little. And it wasn't until, like I said, 91 or 92, that us guys on Long Island were going to this program called The Peak. And that's where we got to discover a little bit about chiropractic. And Andy Forelli was the one who kept hitting me, saying, listen, man, you got to go to DE. You got to get the Spiz. You got to get the Spizzerinctum. He says, you're going to hear stuff there in DE, and it's going to change your heart. It's going to change the way you feel. And I just went with it. And I went down there with Michael Halloran and Penny Schwartz. And also, let's see, there was a couple of Danny Gambino was with us. And we just had so many times, 2-3 times a year, 4 times a year, I tried to go. And it was awesome. It really, really opened me up. It woke me up. And I didn't realize that I wasn't really practicing chiropractic. I was practicing kind of like a pseudo medical thing. I was just adjusting people just to get rid of their pain. And it wasn't until I basically heard the message and I learned about DE and I learned about, innate intelligence. And I learned about how we have to connect people with the life force inside of them, and understanding that, wait a minute, I have to think about this for a second, because the reason why I became a chiropractor was because I got helped by chiropractic, and it totally changed my life. I had an episode in my life where I got, smashed into a tree sleigh riding, and basically this left eye closed on me, and I would get nosebleeds all the time. But what I used to get was all these like infections on my face and boils and cysts. And this went on for years, where doctors kept probing it and poking it and doing all this stuff, giving me antibiotics, and I hated it for 10 years, until one day my karate instructor brought me to a chiropractor, and a chiropractor adjusted me. And even in the back of my mind, I was like, man, I don't know about these chiropractors. One of my best friend's fathers was an orthopedic, and he said chiropractors are quacks. But meanwhile, this guy kind of made sense, because I was into working on cars and working on motorcycles. So he said, listen, if a bone's out of place, it could be pressing on nerves, and those nerves can control the way your body works and how your body feels and how it heals. And he adjusted me and started adjusting me, and all that stuff cleared out. And I was completely changed by that whole experience. But truthfully, you forget. And it wasn't until I went to DE that it kind of came back to me, the power of the body to heal, and how important innate intelligence was, and how life force in the body makes a difference in people. So as I started to live in that and be with people and listen to the story, and more importantly, tell the story, I noticed that the people that were coming to me were no longer like Mary with the neck pain or Joe with the bad back. It was more like Louise with multiple sclerosis, or somebody who had like prostate cancer, or people that came that had bowel problems. So like now people are coming in for health reasons, not for pain. It's kind of interesting how that whole changed, but that was because my mind had changed. D had like shifted me from who I was to what I became. And more as you continue going to DE, and aside from all the great fellowship that you have and the people, you learn so much. You learn so much about really what happens inside the body, stuff that you never learn in school, stuff that you'll never learn in any other seminar. You learn stuff about the brainstem, you learn about the cerebrospinal fluid, you learn about the vagus nerve, you learn about how all these things can get messed up if the atlas is out. You learn about the sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system being depressed. And honestly, when you think about how simple it is that we as chiropractors can lay our hands on people, we know by looking at an x-ray, we know by motion palpating somebody, we know by like seeing exactly what's going on, looking at their lifestyle, and we clear them with the whole idea that they can be connected. It's just beautiful to see people heal. And as a chiropractor, it's the easiest freaking thing in the world. It's something that we are so blessed to do. But we have a big job. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who are completely disconnected. They're so wrapped up with watching TV or looking at their cell phones or looking at the computer. They have no idea how much that is changing the vibration inside their body. And, from all the things that we've learned through the years, and like I'm saying, maybe 30, 35, 36, 37 years that I've been coming as a chiropractor, but from all the years that I've been coming to DE, the message hasn't changed that much. But what's interesting is that the younger doctors and the doctors like Ryan Dobbs, Ed Gigliotti, they're giving us more science that all the stuff that those people in the past just took it in full faith. And I kind of took it in full faith too. But now that people are showing us more of the science that proves everything that people were doing it, it's just amazing that you can look at somebody in the face and say, listen, your nervous system's under pressure. Your body is not operating the way it should, and it's not going to heal unless you get your spine free, if you get your spine aligned. And when we fall into love and serving people for the sake of serving and just giving it because that's who we are and not expecting anything in return, it's amazing how just people come to you. It's crazy. And all we have to do is just be at the top of our game by staying connected to God, to all the things that we have available. I mean, here on the DE, they got the morning breaths, they got the Band of Brothers. Now you can get this program for $109 a month. You can be part of the DE. Instead of showing up to DE like a lazy guy like me, I can stay home and watch it. You can go to DE. You don't have to spend extra money to go. You can just go anytime you want. And I think that's great. I think it's the best investment you can make on yourself as a chiropractor, as a servant. And I think the greatest thing is that when you're at DE, all the people that you connect with, people that have so much to give, so much to share with you, people that, love you like your best friend. And they don't expect anything. They just want to see you do good. All they want to see you is, be the best chiropractor that you can be. And that's a great place to be. It's not like you're signing up for a program and you're expecting, if I do this, I'm going to get this out of it. No, you have to learn, and you have to evolve, and you have to practice, and you have to evolve. And just like, Gary Walsman said, you got to get on your knees and pray. And basically you got to, turn on the power and testify. I mean, that's pretty much it. We had so many wonderful speakers, and I'm sure a lot of the old timers will tell you how great Dr. Sid, was in all of his talks. He used to do 3 talks a day. This guy used to do, morning session. He'd do an afternoon session. He would start off the program with his, and it was all great. It was fantastic. And it all came down to the simplest thing, the basic fundamentals. He would always teach you about the basic fundamentals. You got to get that stuff down. And he wanted to see us become the best that we could. And his perspective was that, this is chiropractic. We got to defend it. We got to protect it, but we got to give our best foot. And I don't know if you know the story, but man, that guy had a lot of clinics, and all what he did to actually create the school and that he created, the DE with all the people that at the time that, his compadres, the guys who actually created the DE, which is fantastic, and D.D. Umber right at his side the whole time, which is fantastic. And all that love created the program that we get. So now that we can learn from people, and I find it's fantastic. But we had people like, Sigafus. I'm sure you heard about him. And Dr. Sigafus was very influential in my chiropractic journey. And as far as I know, I mean, he did everything he could to bring chiropractic to the people. But his message was very simple. He basically said, he says, man, he says, you have to have vision. And he talked about the fourth dimension. He talked about fasting. He talked about, how you have to basically give for the sake of giving. And like, as a chiropractor, he succeeded by having this huge practice. And then he had another huge practice. His daughter has a great practice, who's now the ICA president, which is awesome. And it's an amazing legacy to see his family have all become chiropractors. But Dick Santo was another great one, who basically he was like a priest. But he's the guy who started Band of Brothers. It was his vision to have people in the profession away from DE to get together with a bunch of people, so this way you can help people and let them rise up. Help teach them how to speak, teach them how to do the things, help them how to get a screening, whatever it is, to get them to go to lift them up, which is an awesome message. And these people, were legends, and now we have new people that are legends. I love to hear all the people that speak. Michael Halloran, he's doing a great job trying to keep people centered, try to keep people in faith, trying to keep people not to have any false gods in front of them. All these people are just sharing love from their heart, and they just want to see you do great. And, it's just a matter of being that person, like Mike says, that your presence, because you're in such a agape love, that you're attracting to your person, that they know that you care, and that, like, what are you? Who are you? What do you do? And just we're very lucky to be in a position where we can speak to people and we can give them the truth, and we want to save them from a crazy, dying, crying world. I mean, there's a lot of craziness that goes out there, and that it's our job to kind of bring people back, so this way the world becomes a little bit more sane. And I think that if there were more people that were like you and I, and chiropractors that really just stuck with the message and gave them what they needed, just an adjustment, just some words, the world would be a different place. I could just think about a million people that, that are so twisted that can use chiropractic. I had an opportunity many years ago to go to Panama for a mission. And that mission trip blew my mind, because there was 100 chiropractors that went down, and we all saw a lot of people. I saw, I don't know, 500-600 people a day. And when I did it, it wasn't because I wanted to say, oh, that was great, I did 500-600 people a day. I was doing it because that's what showed up. And honestly, when I tell you, when you get into the spirit, it's amazing what you can do when you get out of the way. When your thoughts, your fears, your worries, and if you're just connected to people and giving them what they need, because God's working through your hands, God's working through your mouth. And couldn't it take me more than 7-8 seconds, maybe 10 seconds to adjust somebody? And then it was another person, then it was another person, then it was another person. I mean, to me, it was a miracle to be part of that experience. But I think that the same thing could happen in your community. I think the same thing could happen in your town. And I think that we have to think beyond our limitations, and stick with the words, and DE, stick with the people that have done it, and realize that your potential is tremendous, what you can do to help people. It's so important, and I mean, there's a lot of things that we can be grateful for, but the greatest thing is that we do have a profession, and we're not prescribing any drugs to anybody. We're not trying to take anything out of their body or put anything into their body. All we're doing is using what they got, which is that power. I mean, it's amazing to me when you think about the miracle of life. I mean, When someone dies, they got all the parts, but they just fall to the ground as dust. So as we know, life, that's the intelligence. That's the God intelligence. And the force, life force, is the thing that holds us together. It's our job to find what's interfering with that. That's it. It's that simple. And people, if they understood the ramifications of their subluxations, if they understood the ramifications of the lifestyle that's creating those subluxations, we can be a vital part of their journey through life to make a better existence for them, but more importantly, for a better existence for their families and for their friends and for the people they interact with. Well, that's all I got to say. And I just want to thank everybody here for everything that you guys done for DE. And that's it. If anybody has any questions, I'll be around.
Hey, brother, you hit a home run. Thank you, man.
Thanks, man.
You said a few things that, like, Gigliotti and all the people are doing a lot of research to prove what was theorized for the past 120 some years. That there's a lot of people in the schools now. I live real close to a school here in Kansas City, that they explain subluxation as a historical thing, but it really isn't real. And then on the other side, you got guys like Gigliotti and the whole crew in the council who are just proven time and time and time again that it absolutely works and it absolutely is real. And then you go to DE and people get, adjust this and you go to Panama and people's tumors fall off and people can hear, people can see, and people don't use diapers anymore. I mean, just all this stuff.
Because we had blind faith. And basically, based on what happened to me, I figured the same thing could happen to somebody else. And as a result of that, it was blind faith. But what's nice is that all the science, even though it proves it, it's like, I knew it already, but it don't matter. What's nice is to be able to explain it to somebody who don't get it. So this way they have the guts to go out and help people. I feel that as chiropractors, it's our mission to help people, but I can't help everybody. But if I can give words to somebody who's just starting out as a chiropractor, maybe he's been in practice for 20 years, and say, listen, do you realize the cerebral spinal fluid's going in and out of that guy's brain? And if they're subluxated, there's an MRI that proves that. Right. You can see how the brain lights up when someone gets adjusted. Right. And when they show how the brainstem and all the things that it affects and how people can have congestion in their skull because they're subluxated at C1. I mean, these things, it seems pretty obvious and simple to me, but I'm not trying to convince me. I'm already convinced.
Right.
So,
but again, there are probably, I don't know the numbers, 75 to 95% of the chiropractors don't believe that or don't understand it. And that's why, in my mind, we should drag them to a DE so they get it. You know what I'm saying? Because they had to drag me kicking and stomping after 20 years of practice. And I went and I couldn't believe it. So again, like, DE saved my life. It saved your life, literally, know, and like you said it so eloquently that if you just tap into what we're talking about, if you go through the Band of Brothers, go to the Band of Brothers, go to DE, and if you can't get there personally, get there on the live stream and stay connected, and then get yourself out of the way, then you can have those experiences you had in Panama in your own practice, because you're in that vibration,
Right. That's right. Well, I think that chiropractic is, again, my vision is that all chiropractors will eventually get it. But, and I know that there's a force of people, the ACA and all the stuff that medicine's trying to do with all the medical colleges and stuff and trying to create that. And I'm not saying I'm not paying attention to that, but all I'm saying is that science is proving every day what we do. And I think that, it's in our favor. It's just a matter of just being the best that we can. So this way people go, listen, come on. I mean, I don't know about you, but I know there's people that had suffered through the pandemic, whatever it was. My practice got so busy because of it. My practice got busy because how many people were just sitting in front of Zoom watching the computer all day long?
Yeah.
how many people didn't go outside, didn't have any connection with anybody. So we had an opportunity to like actually put hands on people and speak to people, and they were like, oh my God, I can't believe it. So, you know, we have such a vital service for humanity. And even in your own little town, in your own little world, you know what I mean? But those people have people that have people. And if they don't come to you, man, let them go to another chiropractor that does exactly what you do. Because that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see every child, every woman, every man get adjusted and let life be. Because I don't think there'd be so much craziness in the world. That's what I think. I think the people are cut off from their frontal lobe, and they're not thinking, they're not, realizing because they're still in that primitive monkey brain. You know what I mean? They don't even understand how they're just so restricted and they're brainwashed. Basically, it's sad.
Right. Unfortunately, that's what this shirt. Wake up humans. But we got to wake up chiropractic so we can all work together as a team to wake up the world.
Well, I thank you so much, Andy, for having me on tonight, and I hope somebody got a little bit of something. You know what I mean? And I look forward to seeing you guys at DE.
I guarantee you're right there, brother. Love you, and have a great night. Love you all. Thanks for being on the call, and we'll see you next week. Love you all.
Appreciate you. Love you. Bye-bye.
Get registered tonight, not tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, man.
Love you.